haven't edited the music to fit the video yet, but, you know, it gives me 6 seconds to waffle on the end of this countdown. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Love Audio Productions YouTube channel. My name is Paul Webber. Great to have you along tonight, this afternoon, this evening, this morning, whatever time of day you're listening to this, or watching this rather, around the world. Please do let us know, won't you, in the comments. Say where you're calling from, or where you are, where you're watching this from. Ina Reese Hansen from CS Live DK, that's Denmark. So hello to you, Ina. Thank you very much indeed for joining. Hi to Daughters Universe as well. Thank you so much for joining the stream tonight. Sammy Superstar is in the house as well from, I believe it's just outside New York. So hello to you. New Jersey, possibly, I think, Please correct me if I've got that wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's New Jersey. But yeah, do let us know where you're watching this from, and we will be delighted to give you a shout out. All right. Messages do come up on the screen, so hopefully keep it clean, keep it friendly, and we will get on with the show. Plenty going on today. I want to bring some new equipment in, and I'll show you what we've done with that in a minute. I've got a short video, which is the unboxing side of it, and then we can actually zoom in and look at a few settings on there as well. So if you're okay with that, we'll get on and do it, shall we? I must remember to keep muting the mic because it doesn't happen. Sorry about that. So I shouldn't cough. I should just. So yeah, I'm so close to the mixer on my left-hand side, and I'll show you that in a bit. Really enjoy the X32 mixer. Yeah, thank you. We're going to go through some bits and pieces in a moment, Sammy. But until then, and you may obviously notice the difference in sound as well compared to what I was using, which was the... And don't get me wrong, I'm still going to use it as part of the show because it's got buttons on it with jingles and stuff on it. We can still use the effects on it. So this is the Go XLR, little small mixing desk, which I've been using for the past... kind of 18 months or so, all right? So that is still part of the studio and will still become part of the studio once I've sorted everything out. It's currently, this new mixer is sat on my dining room table because I've got nowhere else to put it currently. I tried to measure it to put it onto my stand-up, sit-down desk, but it would overhang, and I'm a bit worried about the weight being on this particular rise and fall desk. So I might have to get somebody to help me build a little bit of a kind of shelf to bring it out another, I suppose, 10 centimeters, I guess. But anyway, I'm waffling on. Let me just make sure that I was conscious of the fact that I don't catch up with messages. So let me just briefly check on those and make sure I'm mentioning hi. Sammy says, yes, you're right. That was New Jersey. Thank you. You're playing with the amazing X32. Yes, I am. No problem at all. Really enjoying that. Sammy Superstar, welcome. And everybody's saying hi to everybody else, which is really, really cool. One Crazy Dane. Hello from hot, sunny Southern California. You might know Ina Reese Hansen then from CS Live DK from Denmark. If you're a Dane, if you're an official Dane, One Crazy Dane, it says there. I think it does say Dane, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Okay. So yeah, One Crazy Dane, hi to you as well. Thank you so much for joining the stream tonight. Really, really good to see you. Like I say, I'm going to get on and I'm going to play you a video that I recorded when the thing arrived. And that was, what are we on today? Tuesday. That was Saturday. I want to say Saturday morning it arrived. It was only ordered Friday night, literally, and arrived Saturday morning. It was incredible. But anyway... let me play you this little video of the unboxing, and then we can get into how the nitty-gritty of everything works. All right, here we go. Hello and welcome to Love Audio Productions YouTube channel. My name is Paul Webber. Stand by, we are about to unbox a new piece of kit that has arrived for the Love Audio studio. Here we go. Well, as you can see, this is the X32 Compact. It's brand new. It's out of the box. And yeah, I've got nothing plugged into it currently, so it's just displaying the home screen. And once I get the stream set up properly, I will have a camera, which is the film, obviously the phone camera above here, pointing directly at the screen so we can see what's going on at a glance. And if we go to, let me have a look, if we go to desktop a second, hang on. Desktop. And then click X32 Edit. That's the screen that you'll see the faders come up on when it's connected to the same network. And also any parameters that we want to set or change will be displayed on that particular screen. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that little snippet of the unboxing. And that was my video editing skills as well. Not particularly brilliant, but it worked, and I managed to speed up the middle bit because I really didn't want you to drag it on another 8 minutes just to watch the unboxing, which is pretty cool. Okay, so that's that so far. What I've got is an overhead shot here, the NDI camera, which is on my phone. And as you can see, this is a live shot, so this is the mixer itself. Okay, what I wanted to do is kind of zoom on the main screen there. I've turned the contrast down so you can actually see it, because it was really bright, but I've turned it down a bit, and I'll give you a quick move around. So these are the faders currently. Those are your DCAs and outputs on the right hand side there, and on the left hand side are your banks of channels. This is a 32 channel digital mixing desk with other inputs as well. And if you do the kind of editing with regards to the routing and everything else, or routing as you guys call it in America, then you can unlock many more different channels as well. And also I've managed to connect it to the Ethernet, and what that does is it enables you to control the software, the audio editing software that I've got, using the mixer itself. So that's something I'll probably address in a later show, but certainly not today. I don't want to get involved in any of that today. Right, let's go on to this side here. Before we go on to the kind of screen area, you can see the kind of stuff dancing and mixing around there. What I'm going to do is hold that still, and if I turn off, hang on a second, if I just level that up a bit, hang on. There we go. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but I've kind of zoomed in, so I don't really want to mask that in any way. So, but over here, this is the processing that's going on for the channel I'm speaking to, which is channel 6, where I've got the microphone plugged directly into the back of the X32. So, if I turn off the low cut, that's that kind of yellow shape there. You can't see it's yellow. It looks probably white on your screen, but certainly that's what it is. So if I turn that off, it kind of goes off and it kind of grays it out, but you can now hear a lot of bass notes coming through on my voice. Now, the reason we put a low cut on is to, give you more headroom. If you're mixing a band, let's say, for instance, you would roll off the bottom end, and that's called a low cut. You also see we've got a high shelf here as well. So if I kind of point to, just move that over slightly, guys, and you'll see that on the right-hand side of that graph, if I can keep it still, sorry guys if it's waving around. On the right-hand side of that graph, there's a high shelf rather, right? Because I wanted a bit more sparkle on the voice. If I turn it off, for instance, you'll notice the difference. Hang on. So that's with it off. So it's a little boxy, if I'm honest with you. It's not too bad, don't get me wrong. Years of practice, obviously, with being a voiceover artist and everything else. But what you tend to get is that kind of boxy sound. So what I do is put a high pass. Not a high pass, I keep calling it a high pass shelf. It's not, it's a high shelf. So you're raising the top ends, you're raising the tinny stuff towards 8 to 10K. I just had to look at the screen then to see what kind of frequency it was. And you can dial that in and bring it back and forward and everything else, which is pretty cool as well. So if I can just, oh, no, that's, what's Sorry, to just go from one. Hang on, and do that. No, that kind of that fades out, doesn't it? That's weird. Okay. Hang on. Sorry, that's the. This is what I was looking at. There we go. So you can adjust that so you can adjust that to where that frequency is. That's really kind of the mid-range area there, where it's kind of really kind of high, and then you can back that off, and then use that high shelf to kind of lift those sparkly bits at the end, which is pretty cool. Thank you for the YouTube video link. Oh, right, cool. Thank you for this YouTube video link. Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. So somebody's asking, thanking Ina for the video YouTube link, which is fantastic. Thank you. Let me just catch up on the comments. I've seen some more people coming in, so let me just quickly grab those and I'll move on. So we have One Crazy Dane, we said hello to. Pedro Pedro Juste. It's huge compared to the Go XLR. I see what you mean about the weight now. Yeah, it is pretty heavy. It's 24 kilos, I think, in weight, judging by the what do you call it, documentation that came with it. So yeah, it's pretty heavy. X32 software on the computer is very intuitive. Yeah, it is. I haven't got my head around it yet, Sammy. That's another video that I'll be launching in the near future, so that's pretty cool. CS Live DK, hi, One Crazy Dane, good vibes. And One Crazy Dane saying hedge or hey. I'm presuming that's Danish for hi, which is pretty cool. CS Live DK, hi Tony. Hello to you, Tony, thank you. CS Live DK, that's what I call a mixer, absolutely. And One Crazy Dane thanking Ina for the link. So yeah, I think we're caught up on the comments currently, which is cool. Let me just whip back to main camera. And also, part of the show tonight, I wanted to play you the jingle that we started to produce a couple of weeks back for Matt Haas and his Good Morning Haas show, right? You're welcome, Tony. We just talked about it a few days ago. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Ina. Thank you. Yeah, so I wanted to continue that theme and show you kind of where I've got up to, really. It's almost finished. I've got a little bit of polishing to do, but I think it's pretty good so far. So what I'm going to do is go to desktop, and I'm going to bring up my instance of Studio One 7 Pro, which is the Presonus software for editing. And the good thing about it is eventually, once I figured out how to do it, is that the mixer that I've bought, which of course is this, once I get that up and running and talking to the computer properly, then it will control the surface. It'll be like a control surface for the faders and everything else, which is pretty cool. So anyway, back to desktop. And I need to double check that it's definitely doing that, because last time I did that, nobody could see anything. And yeah, thank you for pointing that out. I can't remember your name, but you certainly made us aware of the fact that nobody could hear it and nobody could see the screen and everything else. I wanted to show the editing. Anyway, so here we are. So it's a multi-track recording, quite a bit going on. It's on a loop as well, so I can kind of replay it over and over. It's going to bore people to death, but at least you can see it. So here are the tracks. So going from top to bottom, we've got the spoken word. I'm going to solo that, and I'll play it for you. Here we go. Live from Philadelphia, it's... All right, so that's part of the jingle. Let's unsolo that. The next track down, you've got My Tai synthesizer. And it's just a short piece there going diddle-diddle like that. So let me just play that for you. Literally all it is. Okay, so then we go down to the next track. And this is a bit more of the My Tai synth, but at a different end of the melody as such. And a different setting, obviously, with the synth. Why it's doing that? Yes. I told you it would bore people to death. Anyway, so let's go to the next track down, and this is the My Tai synth again, but a different part now. This is more the bass notes this time. that. And then literally on the next channel down, the next track down, you've got some percussion. And you'll see when it comes in now like a kick, like that. And then you've got a crash at the end. So it all makes up part of the jingle. Going down to the next track, you've got some main drums. So these are kind of very percussive kind of drums going on. Literally like that. And don't worry, it doesn't kind of just stop like that, really. Here we go. So this is the next track. Let's back on ourselves. So this is more drum and percussion and everything. You'll find this is a synth drum intro, and then we've got a bit more percussion going on. Now, I literally had to cut up those bits in the middle, these dark bits. I literally had to cut those up because they weren't the correct tempo for the song. So I literally had to cut them and then match them up to the grid according to, to get them into time, as it were, which was a very painful, laborious process, trust me. So track 8 is not being used, so that's empty. I don't have to go down that one. Then you've got vocals. Harmonies. I don't want to play those. I don't want to play those yet. There's quite a few of those. But I've also, on this track here, I wanted to just play you these. Again, I had to cut these up to make them fit the tempo because they were just single claps. So this is what that sounds like. Simple kind of clap arrangement, which is cool. And so, drum roll, please. This is the finished article, hopefully, and a bit more polish, obviously. I've not put it through a mastering software yet. So this is the finished jingle for Mr. Matt Haas of Good Morning Haas fame. And here it is in its entirety. Here we go. Live from Philadelphia, waking you up, it's Good Morning Haas. Live from Philadelphia, waking you up, it's Good Morning Haas. Live from Philadelphia, waking you up, it's Good Morning Haas. Live from Philadelphia, waking you up, it's Good Morning Haas. Yeah, that's enough. Live from Philadelphia. The idea is you're only supposed to hear the jingle once, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's not too bad, actually. Now, Ina's very familiar with the jingle that we did for him some time ago. I wish I had it on me, actually, to be fair, but I couldn't find it in time. So what I will do instead, I've got one on the desktop. Did I save it? Yeah, here we go. This is one of the jingles that I did recently for River Radio. Do you remember this one? Just playing it now for you. Seaside, River Radio. Which I didn't think was too bad. I mean, the backing track was pinched. It wasn't done by me by any stretch of the imagination, but you get the idea. So that was quite nice. I enjoyed doing that one and enjoyed kind of bringing that back into the mix again, if you will, which is pretty cool. All right, any questions so far? We're going to go over to the mixer in a minute or two, but if you've got any questions, please do drop them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. I want to go over to the overhead camera again, okay? So there's a few bits and pieces I want to go over on this particular side of it, which is the kind of channel strip, if you will. So this applies to any of the channels down below, any of the faders. And so if I put it on the microphone channel, the top left is 48 volts. That's the one that's lit up. Now that is because this particular microphone, the condenser mic, requires 48 volt phantom power. The button next to it is like a phase switch. So if you've got, let's say, for instance, you're on stage with another microphone that's kind of listening to each other, if you will, and they're kind of fighting against each other, you can kind of cancel that out by pressing the phase button, and you'll notice a slight different sound coming through, which kind of drops the EQ that I put on earlier, which is the rolling the bass off, if you will. So yeah, so that kind of works better for me. There's a gain knob at the top there, so you can trim that down, make it lower, and higher. Obviously, I don't want it to peak, so what I'm doing is looking at the monitor myself and then making sure it's not going into the red. It's in the orange, which is cool, but it's not going to the red, and clipping, which is good news. Next to it is the low cut, so you can literally press a button and that takes off that low cut, makes it all very bassy again, as you can hear. So put that back on. And next to each one of these things, there's a view button. So if you want a closer look, you can go into the view button and it brings it up onto the screen for you to take a closer look. Below that one, you've got the gate. Now, if I turn, hang on, let's have it, hang on. Still use the jingles you made for me, it says Ina. Both the ordinary ones and the Christmas ones, I think it says. That's fantastic. Thank you. I'm glad about that. And thank you very much indeed for your support. So yeah, below the microphone gain one, you've got the gate. Now, if I was to turn the gate down, you can see it's quite harsh. And what it's doing is reducing any background noise when I stop talking. But if I turn that down, listen to what noise I get. That's the ambient noise of the room. And the fan, believe it or not, underneath the mixing desk. There's a fan underneath. It's very quiet. However, with regards to the sensitivity of this microphone, it's picking up that noise because there's nothing else on in the room that's generating that kind of fan noise. So yeah, it's quite a lot. So what we do is we turn the gate up. That's the volume, you fool. Sorry, I did not mean to do that. Okay, here we go. So this is the gate. Now turning the gate up. Just about there, it starts to cut off the background noise. But you can still hear one or two bits and pieces coming through as I move around the room. You know? So I put a fair bit of gate on. There we go, like that. So that stops any background ambient noise coming through on the stream. And yeah, it eliminates any of that. Next to that one, you've got dynamics. So this is your compressor. I've got a little bit of compression on. So if I turn that off, for instance, my gosh, you can hardly hear me. So if I turn that off completely, there we go, that's better. I mean, it doesn't sound too badly, too bad rather, without a compressor. But what we do is we bring that up, and it just gives you a bit more kind of presence and a bit more kind of radio sound, if you like, the sort of sound that I like. So I've got a little bit of compression on there. And again, you can press the view button there, which is just there, which will give you a bigger view of it on the main screen there. I'm trying to just focus on this bit here so you can see, and then I'll move over to the screen in a second, all right? The next bit is quite complex. It's the equalizer. So this is like a graphic equalizer that you get in like a strip with lots of lots of faders on and stuff like this, but instead it's rotary knobs. So if you've got EQ on, take the EQ off. You can now hear that high shelf is off, and also the low cut that we put on is off. So put that back on, and then you can dial that in. As I say, you can tune it to the frequency that you want to make it the sound that you're looking for. Okay, and that's the same like if you're miking up a singer, for instance, and he or she's got a very kind of high voice, a shrill voice, if you like. You might want to just trim that top end down a bit, which is fine. But also, conversely, he or she may have a very bassy sound to their voice, in which case you'd roll off the low cuts. So you kind of roll off the bottom ends where actually nothing's going on, and it gives you more headroom in the total mix if you're rolling off that bass, that low bass sound on the EQ. Next over from that one, you've got a mono bus. I've no idea what that does. I'm not even going to press it. And then you've got your main out left and right. So if I press that, the stream stops. Not the stream stops, but the sound going to the stream stops. That one there. So it says main LR bus. So that's your main left and right out. So if I, again, it's got a fader on it as well on the right-hand side of the mixing desk. So if I bring the camera down so you can see the faders, there's my finger across the left-right bus there. So if I bring that down, you'll notice the volume. Well, it changes in my headphones. I've noticed it doesn't change on the it doesn't change on the output to vMix. I've no idea why. That's a setting I've got to go and look at in the routing or the routing. But yeah, you get the idea. So we leave that where it is. Next to that, by the way, is the monitors left and right. I've got monitors plugged in, but obviously I've not got that turned up. Otherwise, we'd get feedback through the microphone. So that's down. And then over this side, the channel that's selected is channel 6, which is plugged directly into the back of the mixer, which is the XLR, somewhere around there. So that's what's playing here. If I mute that, that mutes the microphone, like that. And over here, you've got your banks of faders. So they deal with it in blocks of 8. So you've got 1 to 8, 9 through 16. 17 through 24 and 25 through 32. Okay, so I'm not using obviously quite a lot of those to be fair with you, but once I start mixing different songs and they've got lots of tracks in them and they all appear on the desk as well as the software, then obviously that's going to come in real handy. So I've got Studio One here, which is where you heard the jingle from. I bring that up and go to desktop. Waking you up. Live from Philadelphia, waking you up. It's Good Morning Haas. Live from Philadelphia, waking you up. It's Good Morning Haas. Matthew, hope you're listening. That'll be winging its way to you on an MP3 in the next 24, 48 hours or so, okay? Really good. Love that. Charles K, hello to you. Thank you so much for joining the stream tonight. Thank you very much indeed. I hope you're well. Let us know where you're watching this from as well. We've just asked everybody in the audience, kind of where they're watching this from. It's always good to know, and it's always good to meet you as well. So thank you very much for joining tonight. Sorry, there we are. Back in focus, back in screen. So yeah, we've just kind of gone over a few settings for the Behringer X32 because I've recently set it up and did the unboxing and everything else. The X32 sounds amazing. Yeah, it does. And what happens is certain parameters of it, I've still got to get my head around because some of it's coming through in mono and I want you guys to hear this kind of stereo separation. So it may be a setting within vMix or it may be... Oh, brilliant. So Charles K is listening from Staffordshire in the UK. Nice to see you and thank you very much indeed for joining. Please do remember to give it a like if you like the video, of course, and if you subscribe as well, then I'll let you know. The notifications will let you know when we're going to go live, which is generally on a Tuesday night at 10 o'clock, only for an hour, just to kind of go through bits and pieces that I've done that week, or again, looking back at this new mix that I've just installed, looking at bits and pieces like that. So yeah, you're very welcome to join us, and please do chime in with any questions you may have. Question. Oh, I missed that. Sorry. Give me 2 seconds. Hang on. Let me just bring that back on the screen again. There we go. Faxi, Denmark. DK. Faxi, Denmark. DK. I like that. Okay. Hang on. Let's have a look here. I'm just going to look at my queue a minute. Hang on. Question. Sammy says, what are you going to do? What are you going to add with the other 30 something channels? That'll be when I've, got a mix and stems to mix on in the software, because the desk will control the software and vice versa, because they're talking to each other via Ethernet. Ethernet cable arrived this afternoon. So I've plugged that in and I know that one talks to the other, but I've still got to do a lot of setting up in the background before I can kind of demonstrate any of that stuff. So yeah, Sammy says, "Wow, that's amazing." He says, "I've always wanted to use a 32 channel mixer with the studio, but never had the space. You can mix it with stems. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, wonderful. And there are bands out there that not donate, but like they don't mind you using the stems in order to practice and remix and all that kind of stuff as well. As long as it's not a commercial piece of music, which of course you need license for." One Crazy Dane is from hot, sunny Southern California. Wow. Love that. Absolutely love that. Well done. Just trying to make sure I've not missed anybody. Charles K saying hi from Staffordshire. CS Live DK still uses jingles you made for me, blah, blah, blah. Very good. Thank you. No problem. Yeah, I think I've caught up, to be honest with you. Mix it with stems. Yeah, absolutely you can. But yeah, so, I'm looking forward to kind of getting into the whole, mixing side of it as well. And for me, it's because I'm a beginner anyway. It's more about showing you the journey. It's not about me teaching you how to do it. It's about us making mistakes together, and then you can see, you can chime in with your own corrections or whatever. What was that saying? Oh my gosh, sorry, mate. I just keep missing these comments. I used to use the Mackie 32.8 channel, but that was analog. Yeah, well, the protocol between the Behringer X32 and the software is Mackie based, so it's Mackie HUI, HUI. So when you dial it in, that's what you need to do, and you can choose the direction in which the information feeds each other. So in other words, if it's from the mixer to the PC, then that's fine. But if it's from the PC to the mixer, you can change the direction so that you don't lose anything on the PC, but it all comes up mapped up to different faders on the X32. That's the theory anyway. And if that works, I'll let you know. It'll be a future stream, definitely. All good, all good. Oh, we've got this, by the way, haven't we? I've got to remember to keep muting the mic. You did not want to hear me go, but I just did. And yeah, bought this one for £8 the other day. It's not bad, but it's so loud. You've got to kind of do it over here if you want to mic it up. It's not Christmas yet, but yeah, you get the idea. It's like the beginning of Walk Like an Egyptian, isn't it? I'm very excited to see you back in the digital mixer. Would like to see a stream what you like about the Presonus mixer versus the Behringer. Well, I loved the Presonus mixer, but I just felt it was a bit overkill for what I needed to do for the live streams, and I didn't really get involved in mixing a great deal of stuff on the Presonus. However, it was a great mixer. I'm not going to knock that because I've got the Presonus software, which I use on a daily basis. So I'm definitely not going to knock it. However, when I had the Behringer before that, I didn't really dive into it as much as I'm going to be doing now. And they have improved it no end. They've increased the screen as far as I can tell. Let's go back to the NDI. Let me just show you. Hang on. Come on. Sorry, guys. Shaky cam for a minute. Hang on. Let me just try this instead. Oh, phone's getting really hot. So I'm trying to see where the video comes. Hang on. There we go. Come on. That's just about there. Unless it starts moving. So yeah, they've increased the screen size, I think, anyway, as far as I know, which is one improvement. But they've also, on the routing page, they've given you the option. This is the inputs. AESA, by the way, that's the next setting over. That will be a stage box. So you've got AESA outputs, and I've just looked at the price of that. I'm definitely not getting a stage box. They are a fortune. And yeah, unless you get it on Marketplace or something. But yeah, phew, no chance. AES-A, which goes over Ethernet, by the way. And then AES-B. So you've got all of these routing possibilities. Then you move across and you've got card. Now, obviously, this is a 32-channel in and out sound card. That's what you're hearing right now. And then you move across, you've got XLR. So those are the XLR inputs on the back of the mixer. You've got outputs, obviously, 1 to 4, 5 to 8. You've got outputs as well, which you can then route. And then you've got patch points as well. And that's your outputs. And then across there, you've got auxiliaries. So I've got a phone, well, I've got a cable, which is in the back of the mixer in one of the auxiliary channels, but it's got a USB-C on the end of it, so I can plug my mobile phone into the bottom of that if I wanted to play some music back on it, right? Obviously, I haven't because it's being used as a camera up here. So anyway, you get the idea. You can plug all sorts of stuff into it. So that's your auxiliaries. Then you've got your P16, which is your personal in-ear monitor systems. So you've got, you could have musicians on the stage that have a P16 box and they plug their wireless earphones into that, and then they can hear the whole mix, and they can dial in their own mix as well. And then you've got user, which is what I was talking about. So here, and I've not got my head around it yet, please, that'll be a future stream when I've done a bit of research on it. But this gives you the opportunity to place any input with any output. That sounds scary, doesn't it? But you can press a button that goes input, press a button that goes output. Yeah, like I say, I'm not going to touch it because A, it'll mess the stream up, and B, I'll probably get it wrong. So, but that's a new addition to the 4. What are we on? Hang on. That's up. This is 4.13. So it's version 4.13 firmware that they've launched, that Behringer have launched. Just there, it tells you. So this is really bang up to date. And you're hearing the audio because I've downloaded drivers from the Behringer website, because I'm using Windows, of course, so I need to download the Windows drivers for it. And yeah, it's a fantastic console. So, like I say, it's about me getting my head around what this does and the routing and everything else. Let me just show you the effects, by the way. So it's got a massive effects library, which is fantastic. And I didn't dial it in. I'm going to do that now. So we're going to go to the mixer, and it's on the microphone channel anyway. There's a button called Sends on Fader. So what you do is press that, scroll down to the effects, and then, hang on. Effects. Is that coming through? No? 222? Not yet. 1, 2. That's matrix. Go Sends on Faders, which is there. 222. Okay, so that should be coming through the effects.
Why is it not coming through?
Bus 13. I don't want it on buses, do I? I want it on direct. Hang on. Let me select insert. Oh, yeah, okay. Insert. Okay, so now, fingers crossed, that should be giving us some echo at some point, is it not? You see, this is it. And there's still tons of stuff to learn. And in my headphones, it's not giving you an echo, but it should be, which is interesting. Insert only, FX return, insert. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's very strange, because it should be sending it to it, but it's not. Okay. Let's take that off for a minute. Let's put that up. There we go. Okay. 2, 2, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2, 2. So this one here, you've got like a stereo flanger kind of effect, which is FX4. And there are dozens more as well, by the way, different presets as well. So bring that down. And then this one next to it is like a flip-flop delay. Hello, this is my baby left me. And Vanity News Place this day. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you get the idea. And then next to that is a room reverb. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today in the sight of God. So yeah, you can dial that in. So you can have it on the back of your vocals, but not fully. so you just get that little tail at the end you can hear. Or you bring it right up and it sounds like you're in the bath. Splish splash, I was taking a bath. Do you know what I mean? So that's that one. And then the one next to it is not doing anything at all. Why is that? Oh, no, hang on. Let's change that to bus 13. There we go. And then the next one to it is bus 13. So again, this is a vintage room, it's called. The previous one, which is that one there, is called a hall reverb. So that's a larger hall. And then this one you've got a vintage room. So it's a vintage effects unit. Sounds pretty good. So you can mix and match with all of these. So you've got the echo and you've got the flanger effect. And then just on its own like that, which is pretty cool. It's like a doubler, like a dun dun dun, like a doubling effect, which is, I think sounds pretty cool, to be fair. But we can't leave that on because it will drive everybody mad, and you don't want to be doing that. So yeah, back to how the mixer should look, which is cool. What I've done is, you can't see it, but let me just scroll down here. So you've got the opportunity to change what they call the scribble strips, which are along the top there. So these are all lit up, and the contrast isn't particularly brilliant, so you can't see what's written on them, but it gives you the channel name. I've called this large condenser because that's what it is. It's a large condensing microphone. So I've called it that. You can also give it an icon as well. Like a little picture, a little pictorial, which goes in there as well. And you can invert the display. So in other words, if you want it, that's got black on blue, but if you wanted blue on black, for instance, or whatever, you can do that, which is pretty good. What else can I show you here? Yeah, so my Studio One software is on those two left-hand channels that are kind of showing in light blue there. So, for instance, hang on, stay there, caller. The play match jingle. Again, sorry guys.
Live from Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
It's
So I can adjust the volume of that as well.
live from Philadelphia. It's live from Philadelphia. It's
As you can see, it's changing volume. So you can have it in the background and talk over it if you wanted to, just to kind of explain what's going on, which is good.
live from Philadelphia. It's
And then all the way to 0, which is good. That's interesting that's that.
live
But
from
it doesn't
Philadelphia.
change the
It's
volume when I do the main thing.
live from Philadelphia.
There's no resemblance
It's
whatsoever. I don't know why that's happening, but anyway, it's one of these things I've got to kind of learn how to do.
Philadelphia. It's
And in relation to where the mixer is currently, don't forget I got it zoomed in. That's where the rest of the desk is, right next to it.
It's
So there we go.
live from Philadelphia.
Yeah, all right.
It's live from Philadelphia. It's
Okay. So yeah, that's a kind of overview really about the mixer and about hopefully what I'm going to be using it for, and doing tutorials and bits and pieces on there once I've got the hang of it myself. To be fair, there's no good me showing you how to do it and it all goes wrong. So I need to kind of study it, make a few notes, take a snapshot. In fact, that's another thing you can do as well, by the way, is that on the mixer itself, you've got the opportunity to save scenes and snippets of those scenes. And again, that's quite in depth, and I'll be kind of practicing with that. You can rename the scene. So let's say, for instance, you're doing, let's go back to main camera a minute. Let's say, for instance, you were doing, recording a band, or, you're mixing a live band for a church service or a concert or whatever, and they've given you a song set list, and you need to change bits and pieces during that song set list. Then you can load each of the songs up as a scene, and then just click on the scene that you want when the next song comes up. And somebody posted a video the other day, and they were saying that it would be good if they had like a crossfade between the scenes rather than snapping into place, because if you can imagine, you go from one scene to another like that, there could be a change in volume, different microphones for different singers, whatever it might be, different patches for different guitars or whatever. So yeah, they said it would be nice to, if somebody launches in the next kind of software update, if you will, or firmware update, if they could find some kind of crossfade so it doesn't jar when you're mixing between the two scenes. So I think it's a good idea. That would be really good. Drink. Okay. So like I say, any questions you may have, please do let me know. Used the stage box the other day using 32 wireless mics. Good grief. And Sammy says, I don't own the X32, but the venue that I was at, they had the X32 and the stage box. Yeah, brilliant. The stage box is so expensive. It's like, it's almost like a third. No, is it? It's about a third of the price of the mixer. So you think, wow, okay. You've got to be really serious about miking up stage acts and things if you're going to go down the route of getting a stage box. But the idea is that it's over Ethernet. So it's, literally that cable between the front of house desk and the stage, and which could be, 20, 30 meters away at least. And so it carries that data down the Ethernet cable, and then you're able to route anything or route anything from the stage box into the Behringer mixer, and then back out again to your PA and all that kind of stuff. It fascinates me. It does, honestly. And getting this mixer again is. It was just. I happened to mention it to someone, and they said, "Well, what?" And I was going to get a second-hand one, and they said, "Why don't you just spend a little bit more money and go for the proper one, rather than getting a second-hand one?" Second-hand one was a good price, by the way. And there were two of them available, same place. But of course, they don't come with a warranty. This one comes with a 3-year warranty, and you can extend it as well. So if you wanted to have peace of mind for 10 years, pay another 70 UK pounds, and then you get the full 10-year warranty, which is cool. So if it goes wrong, you can send it back to Behringer, and they'll fix it or send you a replacement or whatever it might be. So yeah, it's kind of peace of mind, really, I guess, like an insurance policy. But yeah, so I was going to get the second-hand one, but someone very close said to me, "Why don't you just bite the bullet and go for the full Monty?" So yeah, that's exactly what happened. So that was it out of the box today, and hence the video earlier on. I think that's about it. I've covered most things I was going to cover tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this show. I really have enjoyed you guys being there with me as well, kind of going along for the journey, which is really nice. So watch out for future videos coming up with regards to the Behringer X32, which is this bad boy. And if you have any questions in the meantime, or anything you'd like me to go over, then I'm prepared to do a bit of research before we do the live stream or before we do a recorded video on it. But I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your feedback as well. So that's almost it from me. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll stream you next week. Take care, and have a good rest of the week. Thank you very much for joining. Take care now. Goodbye.
Love on you.